All right, we'll take a file 2023-58826. Alexander Belkamp and Amber Collins, both are here via Zoom. And Mr. Shepard's here on behalf of the plaintiff, Mr. Belkamp. This is a date and time set for hearing in this matter. The matter was just filed, and it was filed concurrent with an ex parte motion. Order was entered on an ex parte basis as a result of that motion, granting the father, Mr. Belkamp, extended parenting time with the child, suspending the mother's parenting time pending further hearing. And this hearing was set in the order as well. And as I indicated, both parties are here and will proceed. I guess, Mr. Shepard, you want to give me an update on the status of the matter?
Yeah, Your Honor, I can do that. First and foremost, court's correct. We did file a cut in. The parties executed an affidavit of parentage, and so that's there. As my ex parte motion indicates, Judge, my client has some serious concerns about what's going on with mom. He's very familiar with her history, as my motion lays out. She has had quite the success, I guess, track record. She's had two children of hers, rights to her two children of hers terminated, as I understand it. This particular child, who's just over a year old, Judge, the parties had shared in raising her up until their separation approximately 8 months ago. They've been sharing 50-50 since that time, although there has not been an order to that effect entered. Essentially what happened is out of the blue, prior to this, my client had been sharing concerns with mom about choices that she's making. All of a sudden, in response to that, she cuts him off, doesn't talk to him, didn't allow him to have parenting time with Alexis that he has had since they separated. In that regard, my client is of the opinion that mom may be using illegal substances again. We're going to be asking for a hair follicle drug test. My client's willing to submit to same. He'll pay for that, Judge. Mom's been keeping some interesting company. I have text messages which were attached to my motion where she indicates that she's in the presence of a man by the name of Ricky. I know that particular person to be a Ricky Honeysett from previous cases that I've been involved with. I understand that Mr. Honeysett has a prison history and a pretty decent rap sheet. That was a few years ago. I don't know what he's been doing since then, but I understand he's a tattoo artist through what I learned from my client. Unfortunately, Ms. Collins has also admitted that she's in the presence of a guy by the name of, I believe it's a Tyler. Let me get this guy's name. So a Tyler Chaz Spoonmaker attached his Otis information. Looks like he did a prison stint of 3 years to 20 years for CSE first degree, stemming from a Kent County case back in 2014. She's admitted that she's had this particular person in this baby's presence. My client informs me that Ms. Collins does not have a house, that she kind of floats between a camper at her mother's place and then her brother's home in Sand Lake. It's my understanding she's unemployed. She doesn't have a license, doesn't have a vehicle that she can rely upon. And with her history, Your Honor, and with some of the things she's doing, my client felt it necessary to essentially establish some stability here while we work through this case. As I said, we did file a complaint for custody. It looks like in speaking to my client, he would be agreeable to some supervised parenting time for mom. I don't know that we're going to solve all of our issues in the next half hour or whatever we have left for today's hearing. But those are essentially the concerns as laid out. My client has his own home where the parties actually lived while the minor child was born and for the first several months of her life. She has her own bedroom there. My client has a strong family support system. He has a job. He has a car. He has all of the things necessary to give this child what she needs until mom can essentially get it together. If she's willing to submit to a drug test, as I've said, my client will pay for same, and we could do that at the conclusion of our hearing today. So what we're asking for, Judge, is that the extended parenting time continue until there could be a longer evidentiary hearing, that mom have supervised parenting time. We're open to where that would take place, who would be the supervisor. And in the meantime, that mom not allow anybody with a felony history, CSE history, or any boyfriend or male paramour that she has who shouldn't be around this kid. She needs to do a far better job of that, because obviously that can lead down roads that nobody here wants to go. So that's what we're requesting here today, Judge.
All right, ma'am, what's your side of this?
As far as the drug test goes, I have no problem doing that. The Tyler and Ricky thing, I had talked about getting a tattoo and I didn't. I have not been around them with my child. But they were just working at Alex's tattoo shop and she was around them all the time. Not saying that, but she has not been around them. And I don't float back and forth between my mom's camper and my brother's house. I live at my brother's house. She has her own room here. Just because I don't have my own house and my own car doesn't mean she doesn't get the needs that she needs. She has a roof over her head, food in her stomach. She goes to her doctor's appointments. But I'm open to whatever I got to do to get my kid. And I also have text messages and pictures of them working at his tattoo shop too. So.
Yeah, but them working at my tattoo shop is a lot different than.
Hey, Alex. Hey, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But they were around your kids all the time at the tattoo shop. I understand them working at the tattoo shop. I get what you're saying, but I haven't even, just because I talked to somebody about getting a tattoo done or a tattoo covered up, I don't feel that makes me a bad mom for having, like, my kid hasn't seen him since when I had her. Go ahead, I'm done.
Well, let me swear you both in. Both raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Veldkamp, what information do you have that Ms. Collins may be using illegal substances that would necessitate a hair follicle drug test?
Well, like he had stated before, we've been split up for about 7 to 8 months. And I mean, the first 4 months, we were doing everything perfectly fine, 50-50. There was no issues. We'd call, we'd drop her off, she'd drop her off, we'd meet up, we'd switch baby. And then all of a sudden, up until a couple months ago, everything has just gotten real complicated with meeting up and just all the text messages and stuff like that, man. It's just kind of took a turn.
All right, but what part of all that led you to believe she might be using? I mean, what substances are you concerned about? Let's start there, I guess.
Well, I mean, she got a long history with methamphetamine, and then I mean, drinking alcohol. I mean, just the abundance of nasty text messages at 12:30, 1:30 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not normal behavior for someone who's not.
So some irregular behavior then?
Right.
Is that behavior you witnessed when she was using methamphetamine?
Yes, sir.
May I speak?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
I gave you a chance, so now I got some questions for him. Sir, do you know Ricky Honeysett and Tyler Schoonmaker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you know them?
Ricky worked for me about 2 years ago, for about probably 2 months. And then I had to let him go due to some reasons, obviously, we all know of. And then Tyler worked for me for a couple months too. And
I don't know about him. What reasons we all know of? That doesn't tell me anything.
Well, I mean, we don't need to go in the guy's backlog history, but I mean, when I got with him, as far as talking about bringing him on as a tattoo artist, I mean, he kind of told me one story and promised me a gold road, and 2-3 months later, it was definitely the complete opposite. You know what I mean? I mean, he was just sporadic, and I mean, he wasn't there when he was supposed to be there. I mean, he wasn't a reliable person.
Okay, so nothing criminal or sinister or anything like that. He just wasn't a reliable employee.
Right.
Okay. All right. And then what about Schoonmaker, Tyler Schoonmaker?
Yeah, he worked for me too for probably, I'd say, about 6 months or so, 6-7 months or so. And then he just got busy with his other job, doing lawn care and plowing and stuff like that. his schedule just wasn't meeting our schedule as far as when I needed him to be in there working. He just couldn't hold up to his end of when he could work and when he couldn't work.
All right. So your concerns with those two have more to do with their history than any dealings you've had with them, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Right, correct. Because I mean, them working for me and me being there here or there, stopping to check on things is a lot different than me going there with my child and hanging around them. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I can walk down Skid Row all day long and never have to worry about nothing. It's just, I don't have that type of history. I don't have to worry about falling off track.
All right. All right, so let's see. So ma'am, you don't hang out currently with Ricky Honeysett or Tyler Schoonmaker?
No, I don't, sir. I made a post on Facebook, and this whole thing started is why he thinks I fell off a couple months ago was because, yes, I could say I overreacted because we were talking, and he's already told me he was using me and all this other stuff to help him out with like food and whatnot. Like, he showed up with his girlfriend, and yes, I did post mean, nasty things on Facebook, which I'm admitting I'm taking ownership for that, and I shouldn't have done it, but I did, and I can't take it back. And I have apologized to Mr. Veltkamp, and the whole texting or me being not normal, like, we have talked on Snapchat at 3:00 in the morning. Like, it's not abnormal for me to be up. Like, but no, I do not hang out with Ricky Honeysett or Tyler Schoonmaker. I made a post about getting a tattoo covered up on me of Alex's name, more or less just to kick the beehive, which I'm admitting. And yeah, so they've never been around Ricky or Tyler since
where are you
she's
living
been in my care.
Where are you living right now?
I live in Sand Lake at my brother's house. That's where I stay. And I don't go to my mom's because I know I can't have a child there because she doesn't have running water all year round. So for Alex to make that statement is false. She has her own room here. I've sent Alex pictures.
Who's your brother?
Sean Collins.
Sean Collins?
Yes, sir.
And are you employed right now?
No, I'm not.
You don't have a license or a car either?
No, I'm working on that. I had to get a new ID. I had to renew it, but they sent it to the wrong address. So they had to send it back. And now I'm waiting on it. They said 1 to 2 weeks. And as soon as I get that, I'm going to work with my dad and my brother who work at the same place. It's transportation until I can get enough money to get my license and get a car. But I still don't feel like that's no reason to take my kid from me. If you think I'm using drugs, then I have no problem submitting to a drug test at all.
Okay, good.
But I don't feel like, because I don't have my own house, because I don't have my own car, I don't feel like them are reasons to take my kid from me.
Okay, and I would agree with that. I guess you can't run away from your past. I mean, I've presided over some or all of the hearings in which your parental rights were terminated to 2 kids, and there are a lot of concerns there. And if there's a chance that some of those concerns are resurfacing, that's a big deal. So I guess that's where I'm coming at it from, more than what's in the motion is just my knowledge of your history from those cases.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree, but I've come a long ways, and I've come a long ways from where I was at.
Okay,
but yes,
and I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that because there was a case filed on Alexis too, but
right,
that case didn't go that route because you were doing better. I just want to make sure, I guess, that there hasn't been a regression and you're not having some of the same old problems, some of those old demons coming back to haunt you at this point.
Right. Yeah, it's not even a thought. But I think because of everything that I've posted on Facebook and just everything I've said, I think this is Alex's way of, and I could be wrong, but I think this is his way of, like, I'm not sure.
All right. So
trying to bring up my past against me, more or less.
I get that. But so you got no problem taking a hair follicle, is that what you said?
No, absolutely not.
And sir, you take one too, although they might have to get creative with the sample with you. I don't know.
Don't you dare make fun of people with that haircut, Your Honor. That's not nice.
So I guess, and sir, you said you're willing to pay for both?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey, Judge, if I could just remind the court too, I'm looking at text messages from Ms. Collins indicating that my client shouldn't have a problem with me in Alexis being with Ricky right now. And an additional text message from Ms. Collins, and I understand that she's saying, well, she was kicking the beehive, but my client directly asked her, not a chance, shit's a rap, you wanted to be dumb, so you're admitting to have a convicted sexual offender around my kid. And her response is, laugh out loud, so did you. I mean, I don't think this is a situation where she's just kicking the beehive. I think this is a situation where she was considering these folks as romantic relationships and clearly admitting she's having this 1.5-year-old child around these guys. And that, in addition to her history, which the court is well aware of, is very concerning. So maybe she'll agree to say, hey, I won't do that. And if she'd do that, that would really help.
All right. So if we're going to do this hair follicle and have a hearing in a week or two and consider the results and all that good stuff, how do we get Ms. Collins some parenting time in the meantime?
We're open to suggestion, Your Honor. I don't know. Supervised would be the request, and I don't know her brother. Maybe he's got a wife, or I don't know. I'll leave that to Mr. Velkamp because I want him comfortable too. But as the court indicates, I want to make this happen, and it should start. I don't know whose week it was going to be, but we're open to that.
So, Mr. Velkamp, what do you know about Sean Collins? Is he a trustworthy individual?
Yes, sir. Yep, he is.
All right. So if she lives there, as long as her parenting time occurs at the house and the child sleeps at the house, and there's an order prohibiting Mr. Honeysett and Mr. Schoonmaker from being around the child, or I guess anybody with a felony. I don't know. Does Sean Collins have a felony?
No, he's never even been to jail. Him or his girlfriend.
All right. So if parenting time would occur there, the child would spend the night there. Is that an issue, Mr. Velkamp?
Well, I mean, if the child actually stays the night there, she's saying that she's at her brother's.
That would be the order. So if I found out she was violating that, then that would short circuit her parenting time pretty quickly if it was brought to my attention. Other than that, like during the day for coming and going, maybe taking a trip to the store or going to a park or seeing a movie, do you think that all needs to be supervised as well? Like eyes on her at all times or what?
I would say eyes on her at all times, man. Not having a license, not having a vehicle. How is she getting to these places?
I don't know. Does Mr. Collins live in town or does he live out in the sticks or what?
They're about 10 minutes east of Sand Lake, I'd say. 8-10 minutes east of Sand Lake.
All right, so they're not going to be walking around town and then going to playgrounds and stuff like that. They'd have to get a ride, is what you're saying.
Right.
All right, I can put that in there too. The child must be transported and with appropriate restraints by a licensed driver and a registered vehicle and all that good stuff. I guess, ma'am, does your brother and his you said girlfriend, she lives there too?
Yes.
What's her name?
Katie Nardone. I don't know how to spell the last name either.
Nardone? Okay.
Yeah.
Do they both work?
Yes, they do.
Do they work every day? Do they work weekends?
Yes. No, they work every day.
No weekends?
Katie might, but I'm not sure. My brother just switched to a different job, so I'm not. He don't usually work on the weekends. No. Okay.
All right. Well, let's see how quick we can get you back in front of me, and then maybe that'll. Usually, those hair follicles they can get them done pretty quickly, but then they send them off for verification, and that can take a week to 10 days.
My Honor's been a couple of weeks, but yeah, I think that's probably doable.
So if I were to reset this for the 17th, maybe, you got time that afternoon?
I have a settlement conference in GR judge at 2:30 on the 17th. So I don't know what time, but
Well, if we did like, you can do this one from Zoom, from a conference room down there, so you're already ready to go. I don't know.
yeah, no problem. I probably, if we're gonna, what are we gonna make it if it's another hour, I'm no problem. I couldn't do all afternoon or something like that, I guess is what I'm saying.
All right, yeah, let's do like 1:15 on the 17th.
To 2:30, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that's 15 days. That should be enough time to get those 2 hair follicles done and get the results back. So in the meantime, ma'am, is there someone there you can ask if they have to work maybe next weekend or?
No, they're actually both at work right now. My brother gets back around like 3, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably message her real quick.
Mr. Belkamp, do you know Katie Nardone, the girlfriend?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay.
So, can I speak?
Sure.
If you live there full time, Amber, I mean, how do you not know their work schedule?
Because Katie works in a nursing home. So and she's literally about to go on she's about to have a baby, like 2 weeks. So her schedule's like really hit or miss. And my brother just switched to a different job in Grand Rapids. So I'm assuming he's gonna have to work, but Katie, I'm not so sure about.
Hey, Judge, the good news is we'll have time to figure this out between now and next weekend.
Yeah. And Katie just messaged me back and she said she does not work. I'm not sure about Sean.
All right, I'll put it in the order like this, that Ms. Collins is at parenting time 2 times each week between now and that next hearing, supervised by Sean Collins. Which could include overnight parenting time on the weekends as long as he's available to do that. So I guess without him here, I'm kind of obligating him to something. Hopefully he's okay with it, but the 3 of you will need to sit down and kind of work that out. Just a couple times between now and the next hearing, so hopefully you can get that done. And once we have those hair follicle results, I'll be a little more comfortable moving forward. All right.
My client will make payment arrangements. Obviously, the only thing we would request is that if he comes back clean and she comes back dirty, that he would be reimbursed for what he spent. If she's clean and that he wouldn't be asking for reimbursement, Judge.
All right, she'll reimburse, ma'am. So you're going to reimburse him the cost of the hair follicle if you're
Absolutely.
all right, and
Absolutely.
that would marijuana is not really something we get all bent out of shape about anymore because it's legal, but any illegal substances or anything like that, you'd be expected to pay that back, and that would be something that would obviously be considered moving forward. All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, how do you want us to notify her? We could say we'd like to get the hair follicle testing done today. Alex, can you get to AccuScreen and White Cloud today?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what you need to do?
Usually what Michelle will do is once she sees the order, and you pay the fee for the test, she'll contact Ms. Herman here at the friend of the court, and then Ms. Herman will reach out to the other party. Thank you.
And Judge, obviously neither party would be ingesting any substances which could complicate or frustrate any sort of hair follicle test. I don't anticipate that, but I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, I'll put in there, well, no bleaching or dyeing hair.
I mean, you see my hair.
No,
It's grown out. It's grown out from when it was dyed last time. So I'm not going to be trying to
yeah, you've got plenty.
fake a test.
Mr. Belkamp, maybe they'll take
Yes.
your chin there. I don't know. That'll be up to Michelle. So, all right. Anything else for today then?
I think we're all set. Looking forward to getting back together. Appreciate everybody's time, especially the courts, and we'll see you soon.
All right. I'll see you in a couple weeks. You're getting
Thank
order in the mail within a couple days here. The order will be done this morning, and I can get a copy faxed over to Accurate Screen, so they will expect that someone's coming to pay for those tests. All right.
Alex, get to Accurate Screen today towards the end of the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Judge.
All right. Yep. We're all set.